It's Nick, it's Jay, and I'm Jeff. We're back from the Lemons South Fall 2018, which was rescheduled due to a hurricane.
Yeah, we also were able to reschedule the famous CMP Race Car Street Party.
And as always, another thing that's become CMP tradition, Judge Curtis and his hundreds of pounds of Carolina barbecue.
What we hope does not become a tradition is this butt-terrible canvas bag full of mac and cheese.
Hella sweet was the car number 155 Koronatsky.
Steve Koronatsky!
It's a 72 Dodge Coronet. It's made mostly of Bondo. It's been racing in Lemons since 2012. It's smoked, it's steamed, but it finally won Class C.
Hella sweet, we had NASCAR driver Greg Biffle driving an 83 Toyota Corolla at this race. It says in the notes that he's NASCAR heartthrob, Greg Biffle.
You know, the penalty bin is full of NASCAR romance novels, and that guy's all over the cover of this thing.
That's true.
So this 83 Corolla finished 47th overall, but Greg Biffle set the team's fastest lap, which was 1.5 seconds quicker than the winning BMW E36's fastest lap.
Yeah, turns out driver matters. But terrible was the Team Pegasus pink BMW. Now, Roland, our timing and scoring chief, he was working on this thing all weekend. He could not get it to run at all. But most importantly, I think, was that the numbers on the car were absolutely awful. If you're a regular Lemons team and you have awful numbers, Roland will yell at you. If you're on Roland's team, not a problem.
Numbers are hard.
Numbers are so hard.
Fail Inc. brought a 300,000-mile, one old lady owner Lexus LS 400. Everything was going great. And then they killed their starter.
Yeah, and on the Lexus LS 400, the starter is in the V of the V8 engine, and it's so hard to change that previously in Lemons, we've had teams change their Lexus starter as a penalty.
They got the starter back in a world record time of 6 hours.
Hella sweet, we had two separate, totally unrelated, bright yellow pickup truck conversions of cars that were not originally pickup trucks. One was the Toyo Sadie's, which is, of course, a Toyota Hilux body on a Mercedes 300 diesel. Spectacular car. The other is a somewhat newer car. It started out life as an E30. Along the way, they replaced the original BMW engine with a 2JZ. And mysteriously, they hooked all that up to a Power Glide transmission. Now, the Power Glide, I believe, had 2 speeds originally. This guy thought, that is one too many for my drivers to handle. I am locking it in 1 gear. And that's what they did. And the car actually ran really well. It even won the special over-engineered award because the guy did the entire wiring harness on the pattern of the Airbus A380. Now, Phil, of course, he had to tell me for about 45 minutes all about how Airbus wiring works and, it's braided counterclockwise so it goes through. I'm just taking his word for it that it is spectacular.
Heroic Fix went to Laundered Money. I think they're called that because they own a laundry business.
We hope.
And they have a 96 Woody Buick Roadmaster Wagon Collector Edition.
To be fair, all 96s are collector edition.
Well, it was the final year of production, as all Roadmaster collectors do know.
So they blew up early on Saturday, and they went on Craigslist and found a replacement motor inside a Cadillac funeral limo located at a distant mortuary. They dragged it out past the bodies and the coffins. They put it in their Roadmaster Collector Edition and finished the race. It was heroic.
They resurrected it. The I Got Screwed trophy went to Judge Phil for a couple of reasons. Now, the first reason was this is Judge Phil's 10-year anniversary. His first race was 2008 CMP as a judge. It's 10 years later. So that alone, I mean, talk about a guy getting screwed. The second part was to celebrate his 10-year anniversary, he talked Team NSF into buying a Daewoo Nubira and then letting him drive it at CMP.
Daewoo for life.
I don't know why Phil's got this thing about Korean cars. I don't know what it is. It's a passion of his that nobody else understands. Everybody has something like that.
Yeah, it's like my giant collection of Star Trek The Next Generation action figures.
Well, exactly. And it's like my passion for once every 3 days madly working the telephones to try to call somebody who will restore my goddamn Kellison.
Or my passion for not wanting to be on these videos.
Anyway, NSF being NSF, well, about a month before the race, they decided, we're not ready. We're just not going to go. They neglected to tell Phil, who still showed up with 100 pounds worth of Korean theme items and no car to drive. Ultimately, Mottgrass offered to let him drive the car in acknowledgement of his 10-year anniversary. Woohoo. Car blew up after an hour. Phil did not get to drive at all. He got screwed. Oh, and also he's been doing this for 10 years, so he got doubly screwed.
Organizer's choice went to the Tuna Chuckers. Now, they've been running around the same 1975 LTD for years. It's had all different themes on it. They finally decided to rebody it with a 1951 Plymouth. With fender flares made out of a Volvo P544. They ran around in that thing, and the 1951 Plym Ford Super Deluxe was pretty awesome.
Super Deluxe Limited. The index of effluency went to Duff Beer and the first ever Lemons Triumph Stag. Now, these guys are no dummies. They knew that the weak point in the Triumph Stag was the engine, and so they went out and got a replacement, which was a 1979 Odd-Fire Buick V6. Now, it really goes to show you that when the 1979 Odd-Fire Buick V6 is like a huge upgrade over your stock engine, the kind of material that you're starting with.
To be fair, I will say, the one thing that ultimately was wrong with that motor was the fuel pump. The diaphragm had a hole in it, and it was sucking gas into the oil and shooting oil outside of the engine. And when they finally figured that out, they were able to go to O'Reilly's and get another one. Unlike a Triumph Stag fuel pump, where I believe you have to bring a canvas bag full of gold doubloons to a troll under a bridge in Northamptonshire.
I think that is the factory-approved procedure.
It's in the manual, yeah.
Once they got that fixed, they went back out, and the car kind of did smoke a lot, but it kept running, finished a way higher total of laps than anybody expected. IOE.
Here's Lemons in a Nutshell.
All the Russian ladies of nobility, they were really into Rasputin on account of a very peculiar wart he had on his male member. Car numbers are hard.
2JZ, no shit!